Did you know that in 1994, nearly 1 million people were slaughtered in just 100 days, while the world turned its back? It happened in Rwanda, a small country in East Africa. Decades of colonial manipulation, ethnic tension, and political instability had created a fragile divide between two groups, the Hutu and the Tutsi. These weren't ancient enemies. In fact, they spoke the same language, lived in the same towns, and even intermarried. But when colonial rulers arrived, they deliberately drove a wedge, privileging Tutsis and oppressing Hutus to maintain control. By the time Rwanda gained independence, resentment had already taken root. Then in April 1994, the president's plane was shot down and chaos exploded. Radio stations began urging Hutus to cut down the tall trees, a horrifying code for killing Tutsis. Within hours, neighbors turned on neighbors. Husbands were forced to kill their wives. Churches, once places of refuge, became slaughterhouses. Men with machetes hunted down families who had once been their friends. Roads were lined with bodies. Rivers ran red with blood. People were killed with clubs, knives, hammers, anything that could be held in a hand. It wasn't just soldiers, ordinary civilians, teachers, farmers, even children, were turned into executioners. Some Tutsis tried to hide in forests, swamps, even under piles of corpses, hoping the killers would pass. Others were betrayed by people they trusted most. By the time it ended, over 800,000 people, mostly Tutsis, were dead. Mothers, children, teachers, elders, whole generations wiped out in the span of 3 months. And the world watched. United Nations peacekeepers were ordered not to intervene. Western governments refused to call it genocide, because if they did, they would be required to act. So they didn't. This wasn't just a failure of one nation. It was a failure of humanity, a silence that let evil thrive. But Rwanda did not disappear. From the ashes, survivors rebuilt their country, victims forgave their killers. And today, Rwanda stands, not perfect, but healing. The Rwandan Genocide is not just African history, it's global history. A reminder that when hate becomes normalized and the world chooses silence, the consequences are unthinkable. Never again should mean something.